Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Xbox Nord podcast, episode number 30, a special holidays and end of the year podcast. This one is our last one for the year, obviously, and then after that, we're taking a quick break, taking next week off, and then coming back with 2022 better than ever. I'm sure to say that it's been such a slice with you guys. It's been such a fun ride that I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to do it over again and all over again and always all over again. I'm Andrew Ravindran. With me are my two mainstays of the podcast, my two dads, Joshua James and Dan Robertson. Josh, how's it going, buddy? How are you doing? I see that you're playing the Gunk here. Is that what it is?
Yes. So I am playing the Gunk. Gunk was pretty good. It's a really chill game, especially if you just came off Halo Infinite and you want something that is just pretty linear, pretty decent story, not confusing gameplay. Like I said, pretty chill. It was a pretty... It's not like the greatest game, but it was all right to get through. It's like quick 4 or 5 hours. So I definitely recommend just like stomping through it. Some people absolutely love it. I thought it was okay. It didn't blow my socks off, but I wasn't upset that I beat it either. So
yeah,
it intrigued me enough to get right through it. So, and it has a really nice art style to it, and it's fully voice acted and stuff. And it's an Xbox exclusive, so go support those little games.
Yeah. ID. That's amazing. From the creators of SteamWorld. Nice.
Yeah, no, and they're great. That's why I was expecting a little bit more, to be honest. But
yeah,
not a big deal. But besides that, getting ready for Christmas. Having a lot of calls with Santa Claus over the phone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Putting the fear of God into the kids, saying, you better be good, or no presents this Saturday. So
yeah. Good for you.
So,
good for you. Yeah. Nice.
Have you ever seen that Love, Death, and Robots season 2 episode where it's Santa Claus, but he's like this crazy creature?
Yes.
He like sniffed the kid and he was like good, and then he regurgitated like a toy for him. Like what happens like if he was bad? And I want to show that to Oliver. To be like, that's Santa. You don't
traumatize them into being good. That's the best way to do
it. Yeah. Yes. This podcast is for traumatizing children.
Right?
Yeah. Dan, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. I've been, playing actually a bit of the Gunk too. I'm only probably halfway through it. But yeah, it's a nice casual game. Nothing too crazy special, but it's a cool game and relaxing. There's nothing too super challenging about it and everything. Also, been watching The Witcher and ended up getting through season 2, and I ended up noticing that The Witcher 3 was on sale for $13. So I ended up buying that and started playing that game.
I'm curious.
Get through it now.
I'm curious what the sales are like for when a season drops. Like I know that game was in like the top 10 best-selling games of last year, I think, because the Witcher show came out.
Yeah.
So I bet the sales for Witcher 3 just spiked during this time.
Especially that it's $13 right now with all the content.
They got to put a mod. They got not a mod, but they got to put
the Game of the Year edition.
DLC of Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like so cool if you download the
that would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Download a Henry Cavill skin so you can just play as him now.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to play in his skin?
I know. Man's body's a Greek god in the making. He's an immortal.
Of course you do that. Yeah, you're going to have to put on the super suit too. Just have Superman
taking my clothes off, Oh, Jesus.
Guaranteed there's PC mods for this already.
Oh, yeah.
You
gotta see that bathtub scene.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, no, it was good. And then, just played a little bit of that and watched The Witcher, and haven't gotten up to too much else this week. How about you, Andrew?
Awesome. Obviously, also watching Witcher. I think I was just talking to you guys about the fact that I finished watching Lost in Space Season 3. Totally recommend it. Great family-friendly show. Great way to... It's a series finale, actually. The show ends that was the last season. It's a 3-season arc show. So
you gotta love a start, middle, and end. You know?
Yeah, not like a prolonging TV show where you're like, okay, I've lost interest. You know what I mean? This is
How many seasons can we go for? Like,
yeah,
that was enough. It was enough a while ago. You can stop now.
There's too much TV, if I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes, like, I gotta try to watch the Wheel of Time show. I gotta watch like all these sci-fi shows that are also coming in, and then
and Star Trek.
Yeah.
I had to watch
Did you ever watch
JoJo's
Suits?
Adventure, and there's like 300 episodes of that.
Yeah. Sorry, what was it, Dan?
Do you ever watch Suits? I've been like,
I was a big fan.
watching Suits like slowly and everything, and I was really into it. And then it was like they kind of took the premise of the show, and then like it just kind of left. So it was like, okay, it's a lawyer show, but it's about this guy who's got like a photographic memory, so he's super good at being a lawyer. And then he just kind of moved.
Yeah.
Like, and there's still 2 seasons left, and I'm like,
what's this show about? Yeah.
Yeah, is this just like a? And my wife even pointed out, she's like, it's a soap opera.
Yeah, that's what it really is.
Like, no, it's not. I'm like, all right, maybe it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
They tricked me with a good idea, photographic memory, and then they pull them away. Yeah,
They tricked me into this. I don't know how I got here, but
I was curious when the 5th episode happened and the guy was still in the coma. Be like, it's a soap opera.
Yeah, it's come on. That's a
no
trope.
Yeah,
you do that trope. Yeah. You
He's like, Tommy will get out of his coma this episode.
Yeah. Well, of course, Meghan Markle's in it too. So I think like at some point she just left, and it was like, okay, well, they were kind of married, so he kind of has to leave with her.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. Other than that, playing ESO, really happy that the game's improved gradually. Probably will try to find some hidden gem on Game Pass that I haven't tried. I'll ask, for any recommendations down the line. I feel like I've tried almost every highly ranked, highly rated Xbox Game Pass game, but I'm sure there's more that I have just not tried or given the option to.
Have you beaten Ori and the Will of the Wisp?
It's really hard. I gotta just.
Because you're not a gamer.
Yeah.
Not a real gamer. Look at this, not a real gamer over here.
I don't know why. I'm stuck.
Generation.
Yeah. Let me be honest though. How many of us have bought games where like we got stuck and we got bored and we stopped playing it?
I have not. I have Game Pass. You fucker. Yeah.
Oh,
I never get bored of games.
Oh wow! Look at this Xbox loyalist, this Xbot over here. That's what it is. You are such an Xbot.
Have you played Alien Isolation?
No, not yet.
That is
I know, and I'm a big Aliens fan.
You're like, oh, I'm an Aliens fan. Look at me, I'm the biggest Aliens fan.
You know what? I usually horror games. I'm a little bit like I will say this right now. I am a pussy for horror games.
Shit your pants worthy scary. Like there's moments where you're like standing in the locker and you're like, oh shit, there's that. Oh, he's standing there. Oh fuck, the alien's about to, and then you just see the alien just like pounce on the dude, and you're just standing in the locker. You're like, fuck me.
Jesus,
please don't murder me. Please don't murder me.
Oh man,
I'm gonna live. I swear.
Yeah. I remember Dead Space giving me like too many chills. Like there was I just noticed like my hand or the controller was just feeling like I can't do this.
You're all sweaty and trying to hold the controller.
What a workout! I was just clenched the whole time.
Ooh, yeah. I will. Okay, you know what? I'll play that game in the morning.
It's amazing though. Like the story is great.
Yeah,
apparently it's played on like super easy.
Yeah, maybe I can do that.
Fuck. Holy crap. Especially when the robots are like walking around and they can just like murder you. Mm-hmm. That's stressful too.
Oh my god. Yeah. You know what's funny? I just totally realized we didn't talk about this, but we also played a little bit of Aliens Fireteam Elite and we're like, my god, this game sucks. But
some people like it a lot. I thought it was crap.
Yeah, it's just yeah, we were trying to get you to play with us, Dan, but like to be honest with you, Dan, don't worry. You don't have to play that game with us. Like I wouldn't even try it. It's just
great.
Just no.
Sorry I missed out on that. I was watching The Witcher with my wife and
Yeah. Good.
I would not be sorry you missed out on
Yeah,
that.
don't be sorry. It's a great show. You've met
Show
In
was
fact,
much better than the game was.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you come back to your wife and she'd be like, was playing Aliens worth it? Be like, no, actually, I'm sorry.
No. Yeah.
I regret everything.
Yeah.
I regret doing that. So.
In a separate timeline, you would have regret, Dan. Yeah. You would have real regret.
There we go. I'm scot-free then. I can just erase it off my console now and free up some space.
No, it's good. Please don't even. Yeah,
actually, try it once quick because now you got me curious on how bad it is.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, there's one game I did start playing was Mortal Kombat 11. I found out, I'm like, oh, that game is just a movie, and you play the fight scenes. That's all it is. It's a long ass. There's like the cutscenes in between the fights are so fucking long and dope. Yeah. Like, oh, so this is a Mortal Kombat movie and you play the fight scenes. Cool.
Have you played Injustice?
I hear that's very similar to that as well.
Yeah, because the storyline is actually what made that game actually really relevant. I remember that. I remember the fact that when you said that, I'm like, it's because I believe that studio got really like a big recognition once they started making those Injustice games, because people were just into the story as much as the combat itself, and there was like loyal followers, and they just made an Injustice DC animated movie that just came out this year. So I don't know any DC animated film fans. I'm very behind on the DC animated film stuff, but
I hear the Injustice sucks. So.
Does it? Yeah.
I hear the movie sucks. So.
God damn it! They used to be so good. Those DC animated films. They used to be so good. They used to be. Oh well. But you know what? You know what actually was really good that I watched just a few weeks ago, and then I forgot for us to talk about it when it came on. It was like, I think it got released. Actually, it was December 13th, so I guess maybe a week and a half. So that's when it came out. Power On, the story of Xbox. Josh and I saw it. I know, Dan, you're about to see it. This is a great, honest look on Microsoft making the console that we grew up on. I just got to say, like it's just kind of like astounding to see such a mega corporation be brutally honest, like especially the executives and even the former executives about what happened, all the background of, how its inception was, how it's going to be created, all the behind the door meetings with Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates. I just thought it was such a great, well-produced 6-part documentary. It's free on YouTube. You can all see it, or you can also just download it on the Xbox storefront for free. Josh, how do you feel about watching it? Did you? I think you told me you saw the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
What did you think about it?
Yeah, it was like walking down memory lane. To be honest, I wish this kind of dropped during their 20-year anniversary instead, because that would have been a nice kind of way to look back at the 20 years. Because I feel like I lived this, even though I wasn't at like the Times Square event and stuff. But like, this was like looking back at 20 years of me watching their E3 press conferences, Halo being shown off, Halo 2's big reveal. Boarding, they're talking about like, what about like boarding vehicles and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I remember seeing that. And they jump onto the vehicle and he takes it over, and we were all like,
that's gonna be so crazy. Yeah.
Like, video games can do this.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, like crazy moments, like seeing, Gears.
Excited to watch that.
Going through the highs, like the real highs and lows, and then coming back from those lows. Talking about, man, weren't you surprised? What's his name from Xbox One era?
Yes, Don Matrick. Don
Matrick. Yeah, even Don Matrick was on there talking about TV. But you know what? You got to give credit to Don when they. I didn't even realize this, but
it's
funny because I was part of every single update and And I remember when Netflix got integrated into the dashboard, and you could start streaming Netflix. And like that was the first machine to do that. And they talk about, and Dan, this is interesting in the documentary, that 360 accelerated Netflix to get off of shipping DVDs to houses and go into streaming. So Xbox is like the reason why Netflix is pretty much the company it is today as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, people give Steve Ballmer a lot of crap. Or not Steve Ballmer.
Don Matrick, yeah.
Don Matrick a lot of crap, but he was very forward-thinking in that sense.
Yeah.
And, like, I still say to this day, when they showed off the Xbox One for the first time and they had that press conference where it was like TV.
Yeah.
There was two press conferences. There was that press conference and then the E3 press conference. If those press conferences were turned around and it was the E3 press conference where they talked about games first and then after they talked about maybe their vision of a multimedia box and TV, I feel like people's reception on that reveal would have been like night and day.
Yeah.
Like, they just revealed the wrong press conference first because they said, hey, in 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to have our E3 show and we're going to talk about games there. But this conference was to talk about the console and the other functions the console can do. And man, they just needed to be reversed. But
yeah,
you know, maybe their stumbles were our benefits because look where we are now, right?
That's exactly.
It was interesting watching everything play out for sure.
You know, another thing, Josh, to add is also their big regrets, right? That they were also talking about besides the Xbox One launch. And there was a lot about like studio closures, right? The Lionhead one and how that kind of actually, it wasn't just like them getting a sting from Lionhead, but even like quite a few Xbox executives talking about how they loved that studio. And, you know, Lionhead, before even Fable, they were, I mean, Peter Molyneux's studio, right? But they were a beloved studio. And, it was just kind of amazing to see them going like, hey, we screwed up here, you know?
Well, yeah, and them just saying like, we ran the studio and forced them to do things we wanted them to do instead of us encouraging them to do things they want to do.
Yeah.
Instead. And that's what kind of made the studio fall apart. Oh, you know, Kinect is a thing. Let's, you know, make the Fable Kinect game, you know. Oh, isometric multiplayer MOBAs are a thing. Let's try and make kind of something in there.
Yeah.
And just, you know, you could see in those last like few titles, their passion was kind of, and even in Fable 3, their passions were kind of falling off.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
It just shows them that, you know, create an environment of creativity for the company to create something they want. That's why I'm kind of even excited about like Rare's next game. I feel like they, you know, and to think about like how Rare survived and Lionhead didn't.
Yeah, it just baffles
blows my mind, to be honest. But
yeah.
And the fact that the next Fable game was in development, like 13 months after they closed that studio?
Apparently it was almost done. That Fable Legends game, the MMO thing that we were...
Yeah.
It was like...
Beta too. People were
it was in beta. Yeah. So that's so sad to hear, right? So it's good. It's good to see, Dan, you're going to really enjoy it because it is exactly what Josh said. It's a trip down memory lane. It kind of like, it covers quite a few of the stuff. The only kind of few things that I wish was that I wish they talked a little bit more about like, you know, like how they kind of ditched the PC roots of Microsoft. Because like they talked about it early in the first few episodes, but then I remember there were a time when like 360 started excelling and like, you know, they started closing studios that weren't relevant, like Ensemble and FASA Interactive and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is... and all the other stuff that they were talking about. But yeah, overall, great 6-part documentary. You should watch it.
I feel like it should have been 7 parts, to be honest. I feel like there should have been a little bit more time on the Xbox One generation.
Thank you.
And the things they learned about that. And I feel like the 7th episode should have been kind of a mixture of the Xbox One, but more into their future ambitions and stuff like that, and how, you know, like that whole, like, give me that last half an hour where, like, and from all those mistakes we made, the Xbox Series X. Like, I feel like they didn't talk about the Series X when we're like a year into that console. And in my opinion, the Series X and S are their best console, period. Like, it is their best console. It has backwards compat for like all their other generations. It has the most games on there. It's the most user friendly. It's obviously some fixing and stuff like that, but it's a solid machine.
And it's also a perfect TV machine as well. It's a computer as well. It's practically, you know, it has all these little features that you're just like, it's funny you were saying this, but like I realize how much I use my browser for my Series X more than my main computer. Like all these little things. So no, it's good. I'm glad for that. And good on Microsoft, to be brutally honest, and talk about what they their faults and their achievements.
How they're even selling a poster of the 3 red lights, and some people
the red ring of it.
the red ring. Some people are ticked off about that poster they're selling. So like, it's not something to laugh about. I'm like, I don't think the poster is here for you to laugh at it. It's more so like this,
a reminder.
This was a part of our history. Like,
Man, I remember getting them. I remember appreciating at least like the customer service they had behind it. Like they couldn't really not do it at the same time, but they'd had great customer service. Like I remember it only ever like missing my Xbox for like 2 or 3 days at most.
I think in a Sony documentary they would talk about the PSN outage for like a month,
or their credit card thing. Their credit card hack.
Or that.
I don't think they'll ever talk about the credit card.
I remember being back in the day and being like having people talk about like they were Sony fans talking about how they didn't like that you had to pay for Xbox Live and everything, and I was like, well, you know, like we're paying for the service for a reason because their money goes back into that and they can make it more secure and everything. And then it was like PlayStation hack, and I was like,
there you go. That was a big Sony.
Every company attack, but for your network to go down for a month was outrageous.
I'm waiting for
it's like
EA
server just exploded. It's just like someone in the Nevada desert is like, "Did you hear that, honey?" People in Sony are just like, "Oh my god."
Just a random little jib, but I was waiting for like maybe one day that they make something about EA games, but it's like a tragic story how they were never the same from their early years. And it just went downhill. And every time
so good, and it just keeps going downhill.
And it's and it's like a
Activision.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Kotick came in, and then sexual harassment.
Yeah. But no. Games, guys. That's what we're playing about. Let's move on to our next topic. Obviously, this is our prolonging weekly chat. Sorry, can you hear me? Oh yeah, sorry about that. Halo Infinite. I want to talk about how my honeymoon phase is almost over right now. And I think for about quite a few gamers. And I wanted to talk about 2022's roadmap for Halo Infinite. I want to know
roadmap.
Yeah, where is it? What's going to happen? What are we to do? You know, I'm obviously all of us have, played the campaign. Some of us have played the campaign twice. Some of us collected everything, and we played a ton of the multiplayer. I'm at 85 in my, my season pass, and I'm now trying to stagger just because I don't want to feel like I'm finishing it. But part of me is like, okay, I love this game. But now I'm just starting to feel like this love for this game is no longer as passionate as I was before. And I just wanted to know what you guys and what your thoughts on about this after this and what you hope 343 will do for 2022.
Well, it's because you can't replay missions and there's no code.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I felt like there was as soon as there's co-op or something, I'm going to be right back in there. But after... I'm sitting at 99% Like, I need one audio log, just one.
Yeah.
And like, I can't get it because I need to replay this mission, or I need to re-get everything to 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like do it all again, so you can't go back and play the mission. Like that drives me nuts.
Like you fix that, you fix like co-op and get that in there, and I will be happy again.
Firefight, it needs firefight. I love their AI and stuff like that, and I need firefight.
Yeah.
Also, like, did you watch Dunkey?
Yes, I loved it.
Dunkey's review on it.
Yeah.
He was so spot on. Like his review is so spot on. He's like, the grapple hook is like the biggest thing to ever happen in this franchise. And the fact that it's open world. But then he talks about the sacrifices the open world takes. And like looking back, like even comparing it to Halo 5, like even in his review, he's like, yeah, we went from the story of being like the Didac and like all these things to like nothing. And every cutscene is you putting Cortana into a computer, where like the cutscenes in Halo 5 were like all action packed and cool and well filmed. Like it is so different than Halo 5 and 4 in storytelling. And I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, I'm still kind of... I feel like I need to beat the game again, just like on easy, maybe, and just go through it. But I enjoyed Halo 5's like story, like Halo 4 and 5's story that they were creating almost more. I almost wanted like the thing to end with your conflict with Cortana instead of her just like killing herself and just being like, oh, that happened all before this game. I'm just like,
my issue was, okay, so I will say everything that you were saying on that, like I did want it to conclude, but there was just so much fluff that was going into what 343 was. Like there was so many other side characters where I just was like, who are these people? Why are they making me, get like, just cringy? Why are there like these characters that just don't belong?
Focusing on this and this and this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I just, and I get it because you've been telling a story with this green guy for a long time, and you can't create that much character dimensions for him because he's he's stoic and he's he's got a rough exterior and all that stuff. But part of me was kind of like, okay, that's great, you can create other characters, but just make sure that I can connect with them. And I just felt like in 4 and 5, I didn't have that with some of the characters. That's what I felt. But I might be wrong.
I feel like in 5, like the only thing people really, in my opinion, complained about 5 was the fact that you played Locke's team. But no one really complained those moments you played with Blue Team.
Yeah.
Where you're Master Chief and like his Spartan squad. I would have loved a Blue Team.
Yeah.
A campaign. Like I would have loved to see those 4 characters instead of like introducing the weapon and this character. They should have just stuck with the core Blue Team group. Characters that have a history with Master Chief that could, push him against the wall and be like, look here, you fucker. I grew up with you. Like, don't get out of line and shit like that. Like, it would have been so much cool to see that Blue Team expand.
Do some history and everything. And
exactly. Like, I feel like now that I'm stepping away from Halo Infinite story, it's a good story, but I feel like what they set up in 4 and 5, they had a better opportunity than what they decided to go with. I love the Banish as being the main bad guy. I'm cool with that. I thought they were the better bad guy from Halo 2, but they should have brought in Blue Team. Blue Team should have been in the game.
It's funny you just said that because I think about, you were mentioning just a bit ago that like there's all these characters that could push him against a wall. There are great characters like Frederick, and like those were characters where like that could give Chief more humanity, because I know they were trying to achieve that for a long time. 343 was like trying to get the humanity in Master Chief because the Bungie games made him so operatic. He made him so larger than life, and 343 was trying to be like, there was that quote, Master Chief is human, all that stuff. And I was just like, that would be a great way to get people who grew up with them to be like, why are you doing this? What are you on this road for? And I I feel the same way. It was maybe what I will say is that since now Joe Staten's involved, I think maybe he will correct the storyline moving forward. Because remember, there's campaign DLC coming, right? I don't know if it's 2022, but perhaps maybe we'll see a good, like reintroduction to those characters too. Maybe they'll be coming back as well because none of them were.
Co-op would be
Arbiter
with Blue
wasn't
Team.
in there.
Yeah,
The Arbiter wasn't in the game. Like,
Yeah.
some key characters
yeah,
were not in this. Like, I feel like every character in this game was new except for Chief, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Cortana.
Yeah.
But for people who didn't play, let's say, Halo Wars and stuff like that,
yeah. They'll be like, "Who's Atriox? What was that?
yeah, exactly. Like,
Who the fuck?"
Atriox is a great bad guy.
Yeah, and everybody else was a voiceover in an audio log. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lasky and all those characters.
Well, like, if you're going to introduce Atriox, why didn't you introduce the characters from Halo Wars too? Like the captain from the ship
Mhm. Cutter.
from Halo
Yeah.
Wars 2, like, yeah, like those are some great characters. The new AI, that girl, what's her name?
Serena. I want to say is this Serena?
Yeah, something
I
like
think it's
that.
Serena. Yeah, she has.
Yeah, I think Serena. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
And she had character, by the way. Like I like that AI character model. Like I was like, okay, that's great. That's a nice change of
also, there's a
Cortana.
couple Spartans on the ship that are like fucking badass Spartans.
Yeah.
Like, they are badass Spartans from God, there's that one mission in Halo Wars 2 where you infiltrate the Covenant ship to start shooting the laser into the arc, so all the Sentinels will like start attacking the ship like a swarm of bees, and they rip it in half.
Yeah.
And they're just like the 2 or 3 Spartans are just like laying waste to these fuckers in there. Oh, they could have done such a cool job with like the story they were building up to.
Yeah.
I feel like they were just like, oh, people didn't like it. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck those people. Like,
Yeah.
like fuck them. Like,
We'll see.
yeah.
The thing that I'm just hoping for is when we have this roadmap that like we'll get at least these timelines of when this is coming. I'm already getting tired of the maps, the multiplayer maps, so I'm hoping like in a month or two we can get like a new map or something like that, and we can get the other modes as well.
I almost feel like Forge needs to be more prioritized over even campaign.
Yeah.
Because like the lifeblood of this game, I almost feel like at this point, campaign's not there.
Yeah.
Bring Forge before campaign co-op, because I feel like Forge is a way to make the game
live longer,
bigger than what it is now.
Yeah.
And when you introduce campaign, make story mode campaign, but then introduce like a whole new multiplayer campaign. That would be cool.
Like a Spartan Ops thing or something like that.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
evolution of that or something, you know?
Yeah. Because I know it didn't work at first, but I was always like, man, if they tried that again on this generation, because I remember when they did Spartan Ops, I was like, maybe it didn't work with the 360 because maybe technical things were about, but I feel like now more than ever, all these other modes are coming. So yeah, looking forward to a roadmap of something, just an idea of what's going to happen. I'm sure they'll announce it in January and all that stuff, right? We'll see. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll see. But you know what?
that needs to happen though.
Oh, yeah, please. Hopefully maybe by the week we're here. But you know what? There's no roadmap for this, and there's no release date for this other thing that's coming up. But I'm really happy because for a long time I felt like maybe there was a Ubisoft employee that was listening to us for a long time. But a Splinter Cell remake is official now. Sam Fisher is back, but this time it's from a Ubisoft Toronto studio. They're actually 30 seconds away from my house.
Nice.
I'm not kidding you. This is using the Snowdrop engine that was used in Division and the new upcoming Avatar game. If you haven't seen any of the graphics on that Avatar game, that looks stunning. So,
Did they make Blacklist? Didn't Ubisoft Toronto made Blacklist, right?
I don't know if it was them or they. Yeah.
Did Ubisoft Toronto make Blacklist?
I want to say It might be them. Yes, you are right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Google, stop. I'm right. Yeah. They already
And
have it. They are. You gotta love that, right? Yeah. I don't know this. Computer tell me. But yeah, no, they have experience within the. I like Blacklist a lot. So they have experience in the Splinter Cell world. So I feel like the team has been eager to get back to that because I think Blacklist, from what I remember, I very much enjoyed Blacklist. So
yeah,
it was good.
What do you guys want to see out of this?
Dan?
I'm excited. I just want to, replay some Splinter Cell. Like, get back into it again. It's been a long time since I've had a nice, sit down and try and stealth through a game. And I always had fun trying to see how unstealthy I could be, too.
Yeah.
Just see how quickly you could just run through everything and just John Wick your way through. I never make it very far, but...
Well, and that's what they kind of added with Conviction and Blacklist. They had, this whole, mark and execute targets. I feel like they kind of toned it down a little bit in Blacklist. They kind of brought more stealth back to it, where Conviction was... So it went Conviction, then Blacklist. Yeah. But what I really want to see come back is Spies versus Mercs. Give me Spies versus Mercs again. What a unique first-person versus third-person stealth.
Yeah.
So, you're the first-person shooter running through trying to find these guys, and they're, hiding in the shadows, or, do you remember the original Xbox? And they had the Spy versus Mercs, and when you went up to a player, because when everyone had a mic and was using the mic, went up to the player and you grabbed them, like the mercenary guy, and you hold them by the neck and you had them, you could then communicate with the other team, and you could whisper to them, and you could be like, "Gotcha, motherfucker. Don't you move." You just fly out.
Oh my god.
That's right, bitch, I got you.
God.
Yeah, what a moment. I remember hearing that and oh shit. And I'm like, oh fuck. And he's like, yep, you're done.
No.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. What a good
yeah. I will say, I don't mean to play devil's advocate. I'm also kind of scared that they don't screw it up. Just because I feel like we had the great goods when Ubisoft was really at the prime. For me, I feel like Ubisoft was at the prime was when they were making those Splinter Cell games, because you had, a multi-team studio would be like Ubisoft Montreal, and then Shanghai, Pandora Tomorrow, and then Chaos Theory from the other studio, and then, Double Agent from a different studio. And by the way, I don't know if you guys remember, but Double Agent, those were two different missions, right? You had two different campaigns. The 360 one had a different campaign, and the Xbox original one had a different campaign. Not a lot of people knew about that, but
oh yeah,
that was but that was imagine a game developer, that was a publisher really going oh, this is a good beloved franchise. We got to make sure, they were doing the Assassin's Creed thing before the Assassin's Creed thing that everybody got kind of tired about, but they kept one-upping each other, and I loved it. And I don't know.
Yeah. And that's when they were doing Ghost Recon good, the Future Warfighter ones and stuff.
Advanced Warfighter, yeah.
Those games
and
they just recently came out with an update for Assassin's Creed Valhalla or whatever.
Oh.
So there's a crazier, you get to be Odin or whatever. It looks actually pretty good. I've heard some good things about that.
30-hour campaign to it. Yeah. They even made Assassin's Creed Origins 60 frames per second now. So.
Okay.
Oh, crazy.
Nice.
I wonder what NFTs we'll be able to buy in the new Splinter Cell game.
Assassin's Creed.
My God. And they're, it's funny, it's such a side note, but the Stalker 2 people heard about, said they were going to do it. And then you just had all of the internet going no, don't freaking do this. And they're like, okay, you're right. We shouldn't do this. And then Ubisoft is they're still doing it. And they're still getting all the, the
we're going to do it.
Yeah.
This is so us to get off topic onto NFTs then.
I know.
What I would like to see out of a remake is, I don't know, be true to the series, but also bring it into the modern era. it sounds like they're going to go full remake instead of like a remaster of it. So I would love to see like ray trace lighting and shadows and just like that all taken to another level. Like give me some intense lighting in that game. Let me manipulate my environments.
Crazy stealth. Yeah.
Exactly. Bring a co-op campaign. Remember when you could like do those crazy co-op campaigns from like Chaos Theory and stuff like that? So I hope it's the authentic complete package.
Yeah.
I want at least some co-op in there because
that was amazing.
Co-op's always nice.
Yeah. Let's see.
That was like my bread and butter of Splinter Cell, was like playing with my brother when I was little and everything, and yeah.
Be fun.
It's nice.
Hopefully Ubisoft listens to their their audience and they make a decent game and they don't do some sort of modern gaming trend where they're only going to give us a campaign and maybe one multiplayer map and just be like it's coming out down the line or something like that, because we used to have a lot of things when we were young. We used to have everything. We used to have every game mode when I was we were all young, but it's a different time. But sorry, Josh?
We'll see.
I know. But you know what? Yeah.
I'm glad the team that's doing it has at least dipped their toe into that franchise.
Yeah, that's true. I secretly wish like some of the original members, but I think some of those guys are like probably in a lot of turmoil right now with like whatever that's going on.
That whole publisher's falling apart.
Yeah, that whole publisher's screwed. But
they lost so many.
You think they'll release it on Game Pass?
You know what? If Microsoft's smart, they will fork up the money for this to be, if not a timed exclusive or on Game Pass, or at least the marketing to be under Xbox. They cannot because
you can have better color coordination. That's for sure.
That's true.
Splinter Cell is Xbox.
It is an Xbox game in a heart. It might have been a multi-platform game, but it was best played on Xbox because...
I'm pretty sure that's why they made his 3 lights green.
Yeah, because,
I wouldn't doubt it. I've heard that before, I know, but I'd have to confirm it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm
only on Xbox.
I want to say you're right on that because I remember, I mean, obviously in the Power On podcast, it was actually they were talking about how they were making it first for the Xbox because it did come out as an Xbox exclusive and then came out of PlayStation 3 like 6 or 7 months later. That's what I remember too as well. But
I don't think the first one.
No, it came out.
It came out on PS2, but it was like a really low poly version of it.
No, it was like it came out in 2003 for PS2, and then it came out on Xbox at 2003 for PS3, but 2002 for Xbox first. Like it was actually made first for it, and then they made some ports. Like it was something that Ubisoft used to do.
It didn't look good.
Probably looks shit.
Yeah, the PS2 was just not nearly as powerful as the original Xbox.
Yeah. But we were speaking about Game Pass. Let's do a special shout out for Xbox Game Pass. This is where I act like a salesman, obviously, but the best deal in gaming right now. I mean, there's absolutely no competition. In a recent article from Loadout, Xbox Game Pass gave us almost over $66,300 US worth of games in 2021. Yeah, almost $8,000 Canadian. That's amazing. I mean, we good news. We don't really talk about sometimes good news a lot, but my God, isn't that amazing? During this pandemic where we've all been kind of struggling with finances and all that stuff and just working.
You know how much 8K of loonies weighs?
That's a lot of gold. Yeah. I mean, not real gold, but
it just shows that there's no better value than Game Pass right now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I would not have played nearly as many games, not even close to as many games. I might not even have played Halo Infinite yet. It wasn't for Game Pass, so.
Yeah.
That's just it. I would have been waiting until Christmas, and then I would have been playing it.
I mean, It's
It would have been
funny.
a wasted Christmas present.
Yeah, it's funny you were saying that, but I remember when, what was it? I was a Game Pass subscriber once like the pandemic started, I think. And I was like, okay, this is great. It's fun. I can have this and all that stuff. But something started to happen, especially this year, when like as soon as April started, where it was just like by month, I was like, there was always something interesting. Like I remember when Outriders came and an MLB show that came, and I was like, oh crap, I would usually like want to buy something because I need to buy something. And I was like, I'm just playing it. I'm like, oh, I don't have to buy this. And I remember being, and then like every month it was something, and then you know like Ascent, and then after the Ascent from August to like Christmas, I'm like, whoa, there was like at least a really good high quality level game. It might not have been like the game of the year.
Forza Horizon.
Yeah,
Tons of indie games.
yeah.
It's
You
funny
had all
because
the-
I remember Game Pass coming out and me thinking that it's going to be like, oh, Xbox Arcade or whatever, or it's going to be like just some of the gold games where they like every once in a while you get a gem here or there, but the rest of the time it's just going to be like meh games and everything. And
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass is it's just been ridiculous. It's just
Yeah.
like that. I barely feel the need to go outside of that to purchase a game.
It's also the shared library. Nothing like being able
Yeah.
to like, oh, let's play this tonight, you know?
Yeah.
Let's
All the
play
buddies can play
Aliens
together.
so Dan doesn't have to subject himself to that, you know?
Yeah, just a download.
We can do that.
And even better, I don't have to download it because we got xCloud too, so I can just
Yeah,
stream
yeah.
that stuff.
And then like xCloud is coming to its own this year as well.
Yeah, it's really come to its own.
Man, that's how I started playing Mortal Kombat on that first, and then I was like,
I
oh,
actually
I love
played the
this.
gunk on that for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
It ran sweet. It was a much better experience than I had before with it too.
So that motor's working out.
Yeah, I think the great thing with like cloud is that like sometimes I'm just like I just want to be in bed and I kind of just want like a controller near me, and like I just like the fact that I can do this now.
Do
So
you have the controller clip?
I have actually a spare Razer thing that I got. Like it was like an Xbox wired
Oh
controller.
yeah, the
thing.
one that goes around your phone, right?
Yeah, I got that. Not that one, but it's like the Xbox controller thing, and you have the clip with it. It's like
Okay.
yeah, it's not the
Same as I
cool
got.
Switch one. Yeah, it's really fun.
Mine broke.
Yeah. I was actually,
Did you
what's
get the
funny,
Xbox
Razer
official
Kushi
one?
broke.
Josh, I was actually gonna buy that for
Yeah, I
Christmas.
got that one. That's the one I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a confession.
Did
Josh.
you
I was
get
gonna
the
buy it for
Xbox,
Christmas for you.
the first version or the second version though?
I got the.
'Cause you got to get the second version for the new controller. Apparently, like they have issues.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, what,
This
the
one
Kushi?
actually fits the new controller, and
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah, I have
adapted
the
to
new
the
one.
old controller too.
Yeah.
But the old one only fits the old controller, and on newer controllers it doesn't fit quite right, and it starts to wear out and break.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
But I mean, it's just fit that way in.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
such
No.
you know what's funny? I remember when this stuff came out, I had a friend who was like a big PlayStation fan. It was just like, well, they're gonna lose money, and I'm just like, no, you don't understand. I'm gonna
It's
play
no,
more.
people pay them every month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
but they'll lose money. You'd be like, no, you pay them every month. We all pay them every month.
yeah. They're
And
gonna make
sometimes
a lot of
They
money.
make money off microtransaction.
Yeah,
Like Halo, they got $10 out of me.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like
They're
that's just it. It's like the microtransactions now I can actually see putting money towards it. If I've spent almost $100 on a game, it's like I've spent my money on that game.
Yeah,
I don't intend to spend really more. If it's on Game Pass, it's like, okay, well, it's just included in the friggin' like $8,000 worth of friggin' games that I'm getting as well, and it doesn't really matter. Throw them an extra $10. Like, support the developer because you're already getting it through Game Pass.
There you go.
do you ever remember when you were like 18 or 19 and when you had like a side job and you were like buying games and you think about like if you were to do a tally of like each year? I remember like in 2009 when I bought like a ton of 360 games, I was like, oh, I've spent $400 on video games. And now I'm just like, my God, like what the hell was, you know what I mean? And then I look at my library of games and go, okay, and I'm not trying to be like, not to gloat or anything like that, but I was like, I just,
All you
just,
all you have to do is look at the next year and be like, would you buy Starfield and Stalker 2? If you say yes, be like, you got your money's worth out of
Yeah.
your year's subscription right there.
and you can add Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and probably a couple of
kind of other
great indies and some random
MLB, the
Not to
show.
mention all the ones that you haven't bought yet from this year.
Yeah, and I mean, and
You
even
think MLB will be back on?
Oh, I think so. I think MLB real because you know what? There's a lot of microtransactions. I play MLB The Show a lot, by the way.
And I still see it as one of the top played games, and it's one of the top selling games still.
Yeah, because there's a lot of great microtransactions, and then there's like a premium version where you can buy more coins because there's like a trading card system. So I'm like, yeah, the smartest move by a publisher, a small publisher like MLB. Everybody's like MLB, Major League Baseball, but Major League Baseball also does like their own publishing stuff. Smartest move ever, because it's like you've got a premium game that's made by a class studio, that San Diego Sony studio, and you're releasing on day one, and you're gonna buy it's like game, it's like its own season pass stuff and their little coins and all that stuff. So smart, just damn smart. Yeah, we'll see. Let's moving on. We should our second last topic before a big one. We got to talk about a little bit of a Fortnite. Fortnite is,
Did I miss another Ariana Grande concert?
Yes, you did. You weren't there? What the hell's wrong with you, buddy?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Yeah. We were all there. Yeah. Fortnite is moving to Unreal Engine 5.
All right. And we can move on to our big topic.
Yeah. Yeah, because I fucking hate Fortnite, by the way. That's why I wanted to talk it like that, because I'm like, yeah, Josh, you talk about it, because I don't think I've ever played Fortnite, actually.
It's moving to a better engine.
Okay. That's amazing.
Well, no, it's kind of nice that the fact that, so we can say, okay, we don't play Fortnite, but the fact that it's an ever-evolving game, and the fact that they're even migrating the entire game to that engine, which is a super impressive engine, just shows that this game will eventually become its own metaverse. In itself. I'm curious when they're gonna finally allow you to have your Fortnite room, and you can decorate it, and you have your Fortnite like open world lobby, and you can buy your land on it and stuff, and I can put my.
It's really funny because I was actually way more interested in Fortnite when it was a tower defense game.
Me too.
Like I was actually like, okay, I might actually play this. This looks pretty cool and everything. And then they started to take off, and I'm like, okay, so they'll develop the single player stuff, and then like because I tried out Fortnite a couple of times, and it was cool and all, but it was just like I was just getting immediately wrecked, and I was like, this is just for the load times and everything, it's just not worth it for me. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It went from a tower defense game that was not successful to shoehorning in a battle royale mode, and it just blowing up.
Yeah. Now it's its own, it's its own platform. It's not even a video game anymore. It's its own platform.
Yeah, no, it's just like they're doing concerts. They're doing all sorts of stuff that was not supposed to be done there, and like they're doing a good job with their evolving map and everything. Like it's interesting at least to like see a game like that where it's successfully actually altering the world and changing it and making it like grow. Like that's what I kind of hope to see out of Halo and everything. So
so we can only hope, right?
If
they want to turn this into their like VR metaverse place, they got to kind of expand out of. They gotta. So like, where everyone's complaining about NFTs, like I was saying, are only going to take off is when the Internet 3.0 comes, and that shirt I buy can go into any game world I go into.
Yeah.
at least like a VR space. That's when NFTs will actually become valuable because it's transferable. It doesn't matter where you go. Your avatar is your avatar that you made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when NFTs will actually, in my opinion, have value.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious how Fortnite will shift into
that sort of world and
because
everything.
The guy who made it says like that's his desire is to make this whole Internet 3.0 metaverse thing, and Fortnite is kind of the catalyst for that.
That's true.
Yep.
It's true. It's become such more bigger than its game, right? So
Yep.
Yeah,
we're seeing characters from all over pulled into it and everything. It's bringing the worlds together, and as much as it's not quite the game for me. It's cool to
the
see
fact that
that.
you can go see Travis Scott and not die is amazing.
that was a low blow, Josh. That was a low blow to those Travis Scott. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, it was too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, it's too. I'm just. No, it's yeah.
That skin real quick.
Yeah. As you can tell, we do not play Fortnite. Let's just. As you can tell, we are not Fortnite players, but we should. It's good. It's good. Good for Fortnite. Let's go to our last discussion. Let's end this off nicely and well. Now that 2021 is closing, no shit, Sherlock. It's Christmas time. Let's look forward to 2022. I want to kind of do like a little, our little round table of us three. What game that's slated for 2022? Because keep in mind, some game could get delayed. You never know. It's a long year. They always do it. Are we most excited about? Because I think about 2021. We've had a great year, but there's still a ton of games that Microsoft hasn't even announced. There's so many more studios that Microsoft, studio teams are still working on that, are slated to be even revealed. But there's a ton that's already been revealed. And let's talk about the ones that are kind of revealed and what's going to be coming for 2022. I think it's going to be another great year. I think it actually even might be better than this year. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to say the big one because I'm sure we'll probably get to it, but I have to say it. I'm excited for Starfield. I just think I kind of drink a little bit of the Todd Howard Kool-Aid. I know he can kind of be he can kind of like exaggerate. He's almost like a Peter Molyneux kind of guy. Sometimes he says things that doesn't kind of come true, but I think
he's a visionary, right?
He's a visionary, right? So sometimes they had their bumps in roads and all that stuff, but you know what? I've been playing their games for a long time, and I just feel like I think they're like they were saying something that I kind of really liked, where they're probably at a rate with graphics where we're probably reaching like a high point, but it's mostly about the feel and like how AI and all these little interactions, and that's what I feel like that I want to see in a big open world video game. I really feel like I want it to be very interactive, like almost like a Red Dead Redemption 2, where like I just felt like I was so obsessed with the world, and I think Starfield will be it. I think it's going to be a culmination of a lot of things that they've been doing really well and things that they haven't also been doing well. Because there's a lot of things that's broken in Elder Scrolls games and even broken in the Fallout games. And I've had a love for both of those games. But personally, I think, and I want to know what you guys think about this before you also talk about your two games. But I think 2022 for Starfield, I think that will be that big turning point for Xbox. And I think it's going to be that big turning point for gaming. I think it's going to be that great game. Unless this is, Cyberpunk 2077 again. But
I think it's going to be awesome. I think you're right. Like just like recently playing Breath Edge, it's a really silly, really shrunken down version of what I picture Starfield to kind of be like, where it's going to be interesting to have the like float, like there's no gravity. Like you'll be able to actually like levitate around and everything. Like that was one of the things I really liked out of Morrowind.
Yeah.
Was just like there was the levitation spell, and it was like it created such a crazier world just that, where it was like, oh, you visit the city and it's like, okay, oh, there's this this floating moon chunk that's just about to have destroyed this entire city that we managed to stop, and then we just built an office into. And like it just started to get like really out there, and it was cool to be like, okay, well now I have to get a spell like this to be able to actually like reach up there. And in Starfield, it's going to be anti-gravity all over and everything. You'll be able to visit different planets and everything. I don't know what exactly it'll be yet, but it's going to be
I think the
something
mystery
big.
of the game
Yeah.
sounds intriguing. Like, you can picture what like an Elder Scrolls or a Fallout would be, but like what is a sci-fi Todd Howard game?
All we've seen is
it's definitely
fantasies for
intriguing.
so long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's true. And this is supposed to be more like a realistic sci-fi. It's not like some sort of like, this is like hardcore sci-fi, and
Mhm.
that's really up
something
my alley.
they talked about and have been thinking about and planning for years and years. And like they've spent a significant amount of time and just finally decided to bring it all together and actually like create it, because like we're going to be waiting for the next Elder Scrolls too, but this is their chance. They were talking about how they feel like this is their chance to actually try something different.
Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Josh, anything to add on this?
Oh no, I'm very much looking forward to that as well. Might be the most excited game I'm looking forward to next year. Almost.
Nice. Oh, okay. Before you do it, Dan, what's your... Oh, it's Redfall.
Redfall. I was gonna pick Starfield, but
Sorry.
next runner-up for me is Redfall. It looks pretty good. Playing Back 4 Blood and everything just got me back into that. Like, it was fun getting in there and playing with us as a team and everything too, and getting all the guys together and jumping in. And I think that's where Redfall is really going to start to shine. And
more like a Borderlands kind of.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit more of a Borderlands feel, and I've always enjoyed Borderlands a huge amount. Like I've played all of them so far. I'm excited for Tiny Tina's Adventure, but I have to make some money for that because it's not on Game Pass.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, it's a perfect Game Pass game.
I'm very curious how Redfall will work because Arcane is very open in their gameplay. So I feel like if there is a studio that could be like, we want to make a co-op game, but make sure everyone has like their roles and they feel like, the sniper guy, he's actually, instead of us being all lined up on a street wall going down, just blowing shit up. It sounds like in this game, you'd be like, no, you should go up onto the roof up there. I'm going to, and you like, cover
There'll be some
my
real
back.
strategy to it. Yeah.
And like how open their level designs are. And it's an open world game. In a small town, I almost feel like you're going to be able to go into every building and room in this small town.
Yeah.
So
you're going to want to do a lot of exploring. Yeah.
It's also interesting that you said that because this is not by their Lyon studio. This is by their US studio. That's the guy who made, it's from Harvey Smith. He made the Deus Ex. He was with Warren Spector. And I don't know if you guys remember Deus Ex, but there were so many choices. And so I feel like this is probably going to be exactly what you said, where it's like, it's probably an endless amount of choices where it could be a horde mode or whatever, but maybe because of like the amount of things that you can do, will be good. Will be great for it as well. So I'm excited. I mean, once again, the same thing with Starfield. I don't think we've seen a real proper gameplay trailer yet, or we haven't even seen gameplay footage yet. And this game's supposed to come sooner than Starfield. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know. But
yeah, I think so. I think it's supposed
it comes
to
out in the summer.
Oh, is it in the summer?
Yeah, in the summer. So,
I thought it was earlier in the year.
That's soon.
Yeah, so it's soon.
Yeah. And, it's going to be interesting. But no, it's exciting. No, I'm also excited for Redfall. I think it's going to be a great hit. I'm glad it's an Xbox exclusive. Josh, on the paper it says that you are excited for a game called Big Floppy Dongs 5. Can you talk about Big Floppy Dongs 5? What's the sequel of that great franchise, please?
Well, it's a prequel to the old men playing volleyball game coming out.
Okay.
Basically, it's a prequel story where it starts from the bottom, and then the next one is the volleyball game where we get to see the whole person. So not just the dong. So it's a story about the old person's dong. which is pretty compelling. Gets into a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Besides Dan,
I wrote some silly notes in there.
Yeah.
some silly notes in there. I'd say if it does come out next year, Hellblade 2, easily.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Easily.
Me too.
That
looks
is
amazing.
The
You're gonna play a movie. Play Hellblade 2.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to hear what the sound design sounds like. I want to see what the game looks like running. I want that. I want to see, I want to be just like, can you believe this is a video game? Like, look at this.
Yeah.
So,
Picturing in my head when I was younger when stuff was gonna get like photorealistic.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't picture it to be this soon and have it run this well.
Yeah.
Yeah, your wife will look at that game and be like, all right, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
all right, I might play
this is real.
Yeah.
Be like, this is a movie I'm watching. And he's like, no, it's not.
No.
I'm playing it.
Yeah.
So
Add the controller
really
under the blanket. Like, come on, cuddle up. We're gonna watch a movie. It's all that clicking noise. Don't worry about it. We keep showing Xbox controls on the screen.
Yeah, pull the
It does
blanket off. That's a controller. No, it's not. I swear, honey.
Yeah.
I swear I was just touching myself.
Yeah. I was just masturbating under the covers. I swear.
You know, I'm hoping that game gets a release date, and I'm hoping it's 2022 because and I like how it's not like made by a big team. You know, it looks like it's made by just kind of like, I mean, it's made by like Ninja Theory, and they do have like, I think like 120 staff or whatever it is. But it looks like they still are like taking it kind of like as a personal game as well. They're not taking it like with like, tons of staffers being made into it. So like, and
I feel like a summer release would be good.
Yeah.
For that game.
Yeah. I think that game's gonna
August,
get like
September or something.
I think it's gonna get like a December release or something. I think it's gonna get like one of those like, here's the end of the year game, and it's the it's like the icing on the cake. I don't know why, but
we'll see.
I don't know.
Well, that's the kind of nice thing where people are like, "Oh, how can you release a game in December?" I'm like, Game Pass honestly changes everything.
Yeah.
So.
Look at Halo. Look at Halo Infinite. How many people are playing Halo Infinite instead of those November games, right? Look at the two big November games that came out. And
everyone's playing Halo Infinite.
Yeah. So
it's just demolishing.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Not to go on another note for the stuff, but there's also games coming out in February. There's games coming out in, April and all that stuff. And I like that. I like the staggering monthly releases for Game Pass. That's a great thing, right?
Always something new and cool to play.
A notable mention, though, for next year that could be my game of the year, and it might be my first time playing it, a Souls-like, but Elden Ring. Ring could be actually one of my...
I'm looking forward to that, too.
That game, I might actually slap $80 down on the table for that. And be like, give me that Elden.
Yeah. So, I think that, and also maybe...
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Suicide Squad coming out in 2022?
Oh yeah, Suicide Squad too.
I was thinking about that. Like,
there's so many good ones.
Oh, there's so many good games next year. Oh, Gotham Knights too.
Yeah.
Next year's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
it's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Remember,
you know what? Suicide Squad's my most anticipated.
Yeah,
I know it's coming out for sure.
I also know. I just have a feeling that game's gonna be great because it's by like.
It looks like Sunset Overdrive. It looks awesome.
With co-op. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then I also keep thinking about the fact that we were talking about Game Pass. I'm like, oh, look at those great multi-platform games that we're going to get a day one release. And I'm just like, oh, it's just indies. I'm like, no, not just indies. Plague's Tale. You know what I mean? Like,
Plague's Tale. Plague's Tale is going to be amazing.
Game one. And I'm just like, oh, that's great.
And then all the things we just don't know about. Like, we didn't find out about Outriders until like a week before it came out. So like, what are those? Like MLB The Show, we didn't even find out until like a month before it came out.
Yeah.
Like
That was
Like,
crazy.
so what games like that are we going to get next year is exciting too. Like the stuff we don't know that will be releasing next year on Game Pass. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
You know what the game of the year is? Game Pass.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. The game of the
The
year.
game of the year is just Game Pass.
Yeah. But isn't there any games in particular? No, you don't understand. Game Pass
It's the whole thing.
It's a
It's
platform.
all the games. Yeah.
It is the metaverse. You know?
Yeah, it's my Fortnite.
xCloud. xCloud is my game of the year.
Yeah.
It
It's
plays
my-
everything, and I don't have to download anymore.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Game Pass could be a great metaverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
A 3D VR and then open a door and then you just put the controller in your hand. You're playing a game. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe next
That'd be
year
pretty
Microsoft will announce VR capabilities or something
I
like
hope
that,
so.
or
Their machine is more than powerful enough, guys.
way more than that.
And just be like, it's just wireless to an Oculus or to a mixed reality headset. I don't know.
I feel like they have to be working on some technology that's going to blow us out of the water or something, because they're competing with Oculus and everything. They've got to have something that's going to just be newer and better. Like either they're going to have a better lens or something where you're going to get a better, less screen door effect or more realism or something.
Yeah.
Better form factor, augmented reality that works properly.
So next year, me and Dan are starting a VR podcast now.
Yeah.
What did you do in
VR?
Yeah, and I'll do a special behind the scenes of Andrew does a VR porn podcast where he reviews every.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Just
wow.
We got you in as a floating head.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right
just like me being like, yeah.
So.
No. Yeah. It's that time of the year, guys. You're with family and all that stuff, so you're just like, I just need to game as much as I can. You know what I mean? And I just need to talk and vent out.
So it's going to be a white Christmas for
Get onto that VR porn then.
I just, oh my god.
All right, you filthy animal.
Yeah, that's my Christmas shirt here. I like how I'm the only one that's wearing it for the holidays, and you two are just.
I don't even have my Santa next to me.
Mine's knitted.
Oh, okay, nice.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Got a little owl.
Yeah, I got a Christmas tree.
I kind of want to say a little thing before we call it a night, but I just want to say thanks for doing this with me. You know what I mean? Actually, I want to give the credit more to you two as well, especially because obviously I'm not in every one of these, but I was like, man, it's been a rough few years for everybody, but this has been really good that I got to do this with you two as well. Just because, I've been playing Xbox nonstop and breathing Xbox, and I've got obviously an arts career to pursue, but I was just like, man, I just need something that's kind of stress relieving and just something kind of just to talk with folks and all that stuff. And the fact that I got to do this, for you two, I got to say, it's just from the heart, thank you for doing this with me. And thank you, Josh, for really taking the lead on this and making these, what we're going to say, what we're going to talk about, and really doing it. Thanks for always coming in when I'm not there, and all that stuff. Dan, all the technical stuff that you've been doing, because man, I've got a freaking ancient PC, and I don't know how the hell we were doing it the first few times, and you just really tackled
that thing. Oh.
Yeah, but
we squeezed by.
Yeah,
it was rough, but we squeezed by.
but I just gotta say, it's if all of this happened, sometimes you make something good out of this. But from this pandemic, and I was just yes, I didn't get to make my movies yet. They're coming at 2022. But if there's one thing that I gotta say for this year that has been really great, has been a really saving grace, is by doing this podcast with you and playing games with you guys and bonding with you guys even more. It's been just been a really great time. And I the future for us for next year, we're going to do some bigger things, and we're going to do some great things. We're going to have a great guest that's starting off, and we're going to do a lot more things with our video and our channel. But I have to say, guys, I love you guys. Thank you for doing this.
Love you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
And same to you guys. I've been wanting to do a podcast for years, and
Yeah.
as soon as I heard you wanted to do it, I'm just like, okay, I got another person who will probably want to do it, and then like, I got to force Dan to do it too. So I'm not
Absolutely.
going
We
to
used
do
to
it
talk about it all the time. Just like in the old
Dan.
apartment, I remember. It's like, we could be recording this.
Yeah, and you had the perfect voice for being on radio, Dan, and that's why I was just like, oh, I would love to hear from Dan. I would love to, and Josh, just obviously me and you haven't met that much each other until we started the podcast and we started playing games, but it's just great. It's the power of gaming is like you can also find some unity with people, that you've just never met before. It's like a mutual friend, and it's, like sometimes these like stories connect you in so many ways, and this is a great art form that I like love, even though I'm not professionally into it, but I'm just so passionate about it. And I'm just glad that I get to meet and talk to people that like relate to things that I say and also disagree with things that I say. We had disagreements in the show. We've had, and we've had great conversations with it, and it's great that we get to put it out there. And like, we've got a small user base, but like my friends message me and they tell me how much they like what we're doing and what we're talking about. And that makes me feel good because, I didn't want to just make a podcast where, I didn't care how many people were going to watch it. There was only 1 or 2 people, but I care the fact that there's a few friends that will message me like, great episode. Or there's somebody from Xbox Live that will just like, yo, I just watched your podcast. Thank you for... I agreed with what you said. Hey, I didn't agree with what you said over here. Hey, I like what Josh and Dan was saying over here. And that's great. I'm so happy that we've done that,
All right,
Yeah,
just
and especially with COVID and everything, it's been awesome to reconnect with you guys and just actually like, spend some time together. It's been a huge relief.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we don't, like me and Andrew, we can get together pretty much whenever. We don't live terribly far from, but Dan, you live a little further north, and it's not the easiest. Getting face-to-face conversations is definitely that. And I said the podcast is the excuse for us to shoot the shit every week. So
exactly.
I'm just surprised. Anyone who anyone who listens to us, thank you. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely.
People we've interacted who've listened to the show, you guys are amazing. We do think about you. We talk about you guys, and we're just super. I don't know.
Psyched people like to hear us.
Like blown away, right? Like the fact that you just like listen to us, or even put the time in to write a comment, or interact with us, or even play a game on Xbox. Like you guys are amazing, and just like the people I've met through it, like Double Barrel Gaming, Boom. He's amazing. He's super welcoming. Tony from Plume Network. He's been absolutely amazing. Just like a bunch of people that I've interacted with on Twitter. Just trying to put our name out there and grow our community, and just just keep the positivity going. Pinky, you are the legend. You know who you are. Just thank you guys, and thanks for being there every week with me and putting up with my my micromanaging sometimes, but you saved the day.
Micromanage? I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm glad you micromanaged, Josh, because I'm all over the place. I was just like, I want to do a podcast, and I was like, when do you want to start? In a week or 2, and it ended up being like a month, and you're like, let's do it. And that took a long time. And again, also great job with the technical stuff. Also, folks, we're gamers too. We're not just trying to do this because we want to do it. We're gamers. We like doing this. We like talking about games. This is what we want to do. We're not trying to do this for like compensation or all that stuff. Like, we all got other things to do in our lives.
That being said, pay us. Yeah, we'll take any amount of money.
So our Patreon page launches right now today. It's starting as Toonie, whatever, right? I don't know. When's that coming?
Hopefully we can get to the Patreon. Eventually.
Yeah. That will be a while.
One day. Until then, you guys get to listen to us, and hopefully you keep enjoying it and keep it on with us.
Also, if you listen to us on Spotify, Spotify has recently added a star system so you can rate us. And you can only rate if you've listened to the podcast. If you can't rate, Andrew, I know you've not been listening to our podcast on Spotify services.
You know what? The ones I missed and I watched it. But then I'm also like, oh, I should watch the YouTube one because I want to make sure that... And then I'm like, but you are good, right. Yeah. The video's great because I want to see your faces. But you're also right. A lot of people have to commute, and so we should. Okay, so yes, rate us on Prod. Yep.
Rate us on Spotify now, so you can give us that, 1 star if you don't like it, whatever.
Yeah. Fine. Who the hell are these fuckers?
Care. But 5 stars if you like it. Leave us a 5-star review. Love that.
How dare you make fun of Fortnite? Yeah.
Exactly right. It's like Fortnite, just a baby's game. Okay. All right, take us home.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, you don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page and hit that like button. Feel free to comment down below. You can also find us audio only on Spotify, Google Podcast. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. We also on Reddit, Instagram, look up Xbox North Podcast, and for Twitter, @NorthXbox.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. See you next year, guys.
See you next year. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.